Every Wednesday night on Stock Watch, investing gurus, Uncle David and Uncle Wayne would go on about waiting for the effects of the Chinese stimulus to kick in. And it was in connection, I think, with the Naspers and process shares as well as mining companies because they are very dependent on the Chinese economy. And China found themselves in a tricky situation a couple of years ago. After COVID, the people stopped spending money, they started to save. And the government was panicking because this had a negative effect on the economy and the stock market. So the government was trying to stimulate the economy. They were cutting interest rates, they were pulling a couple of levers. They're basically begging the people to open their wallets. And I don't know if that is unique to the Chinese economy because China is a unique economy, or is it like a principle of economics and just how it works basically. If you have any experience in that field, I'd love to know. I find it very interesting. And the reason I bring this to you is what's happening back at home is the total opposite. We are spending not in the entire economy maybe, but in the vehicle manufacturing industry. In car sales, we are buying cars, we are selling cars. The industry is buzzing. But before we get into the numbers, allow me to make a quick disclaimer. I do work in the motor industry, but the views expressed in this video and on this channel are that of my own and not that of my employer or any other company. This video does also not constitute financial advice. If you do need financial advice, please speak to a professional. In February 2026, we sold over 53,000 vehicles. That is a 11% increase from the previous year. And the industry is buzzing. We calling it the best love month for 13 years. And it's a success story. Cars are moving, dealerships are buzzing, people are earning commissions. It's a success story. It's good for the economy. Now, perspective feeds wisdom. So let me give you a different perspective. Because approximately 74% of the average South African's take home pay goes to servicing debt. To put that into perspective, for every 1,000 rand you earn, about between 600 and 700 rand is going to service debt. That's before you even buy a loaf of bread, milk, packet of flavor, and coals. In 2024, about 43% of South Africans were using credit to buy food. There's also been an increase in car loans, car financing. And that's obvious if you look at the price of new cars. I mean, who has that kind of money lying around in their couches? The amount of balloon payments is also up 41% in the past 5 years. We're also seeing that for more than 50% of loan terms are now more than 72 months. And it's easy to see what's happening. The financing houses are being very creative. And at levels above 50%, balloon payments and extended loan terms are now becoming the industry norm. And I'm not totally against balloon payments. If you're buying a entry level car, I think balloon payment makes sense. If you need the car to get to university, if you need to get to work, if you need it for your business, the balloon payment can work for you. But if you're not buying an entry level car, why are you making use? Is it really necessary to make use of a balloon payment? And the other thing is I find the way that the financing houses justifies the balloon payments and extended loan terms is very funny to me because they'll say things like, yeah, no, there's a misconception about the balloon payment. There's no need to avoid it at all cost, and it to make your payments more affordable and all these things. That I don't think sometimes they listen to themselves because it's funny. They'll say that in order to make the final payment more manageable, you should save at the beginning of the term to make the final payment more manageable. And I can't think of an analogy to help you understand to how ridiculous that is, because what's the interest rate they're giving on the money you're saving versus the balloon amount? It there's gonna be a big difference there. It's like your house is on fire, but you're not using as much water as possible to put out the fire because you want to save water. Look, I'm not here to basically tell you to now not buy a new car or to not make use of the balloon payment or an extended loan term. That's not the point. If you're buying a bucket to drive your business, to carry your tools, that's an investment, that's a tool. But if you're buying a double cab to elevate your status in the street, just remember that the helium balloons eventually come back down to earth. And I don't want you to end up in a ditch of death that no 4x4 can climb out of. We have driver's licenses for a reason. We are meant to drive our cars, not our cars drive us into debt.